A major YouTube video has dropped a couple of hours ago titled Inside the New York Town Invaded by Welfare Addicted Jews. It was posted by the huge YouTuber Tyler Oliviera, who has nearly 9 million subscribers. And as of this recording, a couple of hours after its publication, it already has well over 250,000 views. I have been asked by several people to give my comments on this video. I have not yet watched it, and I thought I would watch it along with you and share with you what I see and what my first thoughts are. Perhaps later I will do an additional video with more reflective thoughts or with your comments, but first let's watch it together. To give you a little bit of context and why this is something I was asked to comment on, I am a native of this welfare addicted Jewish community. I was born in the village of Kiryas Joel in 1985, and I grew up there, spent my entire childhood there. I am one of 15 children, lived on Saltmore Drive, got engaged in the matchmaking system at 18 to a boy from the Hasidic community of Williamsburg. And as a young couple, we lived in Kiryas Joel. That's where my son was born. When he was 5, speaking Yiddish, being in the Hasidic education system, I made the decision to leave the community. I left with my son, Seth, who is now 20 years old. It's been a long time. I was 25 when I left, so I spent 25 years of my life there. And at this time of recording, that's more than half of my life. Um, I still visit Kiryas Joel. It is a very fast changing place. I was there very recently to visit my mother as she is recovering from not being well. I am planning to go again this upcoming week because my niece, my younger brother's daughter, is getting married. So I visit and I get to see how the village is changing and stay connected with this world. I have complex feelings about the community I come from, and I covered my channel. My goal is always to try to tell a story that is multi-layered and is complex and humanizing. And we're gonna see what my impressions are of this particular video. I have to say, just by the title, I feel quite nauseous. My most popular video, which has over 1 million views, is one titled How Do Hasidic Jews Earn a Living, where I go into many modes of income. Let's see what his findings are. All right.
Work for Hamas?
I don't want my kids should play in the house of a secular guy.
This is Kiryas Joel, a village of 44,000 Hasidic Jews in upstate New York that primarily speak Yiddish, have an average of 7 kids per family. How many kids do most people have out here?
17, 18.
How do they afford 17, 18 kids? It's one of the poorest towns in America, with 40% living beneath the federal poverty line. Many men here are religiously studying the Torah full-time and heavily rely on public assistance and welfare in the form of Medicaid, housing vouchers, food stamps, and the village Torah full-time and heavily rely on public assistance and welfare in the form of Medicaid.
I have a really hard time with this. It's a 2014 report. It's 2026. He's not citing any times, any information. This is so important for a fast-changing demographic, especially considering this is third-generation immigrant. People came here after the Holocaust with no skills, with very, very great challenges economically, and there is rising standards of living and economic situations. So when you use sources to tell the story, it is extremely important to date them. You can't pull up a study from 2014 and also cite the population to be 44,000. I don't know that it's 44,000, but it wasn't 44,000 in 2014. This is completely irresponsible journalism from my perspective to use information that's 12 years ago and not to contextualize that. It feels very cherry picked.
Housing vouchers, food stamps, and cash aid to support their giant families that God commanded them to have. To Kiryas Joel myself.
Okay, I have no idea what's illegal and what. Again, he glosses over things. Where is it illegal? What happened that white people weren't allowed to do it? I get comments all the time on my videos with similar sentiments. Oh, the Jews are allowed to do it and Muslims would never be allowed to. Wait, what? What is the story? Please be precise. Let's compare two different examples with precision so we can understand. Are these actually apples to apples? And why are there unequal criteria applied to similar situations? If you can prove to me that indeed a Muslim woman would not be allowed to wear the garb that she's wearing, that Hasidic women are allowed, then I will take your point and think it's valid. But you cannot make these points just out of your own thin air, or like he does, glossing over the most inflammatory statements, saying, look, the Jews get to have it, of course, because they own everything. They get to without wait, what was the story there? And this is why I'm so frustrated with shock jock YouTube content creation, with this fast creating narratives that move and keep you hooked, because they're just making statements and making it sound like they're cited by offering a little snippet of something without going into anything. You cannot make an inflammatory statement like this without explaining what happened when white people tried to make a community, and what happened when Hasidic Jews tried to make a community. There are whole books on the Hasidic Jewish community and the creation of Kiryas Joel and what went into it, and it was not an easy process. But let's see, maybe he goes into it more later.
To see what's going on. Welcome to Kiryas Joel, a traditional community of modesty and values. In keeping with our traditions and religious customs, we kindly ask that you dress and behave in a modest way while visiting our community. This includes wearing long skirts or pants, covered necklines, sleeves past the elbow, use appropriate language, maintain gender separation in all public areas. Thank you for respecting our values. Let's pop in here and say shalom.
I think this is the Sussman Shul. I'm not sure. It's hard to see. It goes by very fast. By the way, pet peeve, it's Kiryas Joel. It's not Kiryas Joel.
Praying. Hi. Shalom. Okay, so it says entrance for members only. Not sure what it takes to be a member. What does it take to be a member? Do I have to be Jewish to enter? Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure the schedule exactly, but 9 o'clock sharp, they're not at work. What is this? Okay, so I guess everyone's praying right now. So you gotta wonder what these people do for employment. You'll notice the Mexicans out.
Wow. I'm really not liking this video. This is really upsetting to me. First of all, you don't just traipse into a Jewish house of worship or any house of worship with so much prejudice and disrespect. What does it take to be a member? Well, clearly you're not a member and you're inside. And you're just there to be offensive and not to be respectfully learning, then you shouldn't be in there. And also this attitude of it's 9 o'clock and why are they not at work is also so completely incurious. Do you really want to know why they're not at work? Or are you trying to just simply throw out an accusation? Look at them. They're all of them not working. People are praying from very early morning. I know people get up 4:30 in the morning. They're praying in shifts. For whatever reason, there's a prayer quorum at 9 a.m. There are people at the gym at 9 a.m. People have different work schedules. This means nothing. Meanwhile, there's a comparison being made to the Mexican workers, again, shoving the viewer towards a bias. Slowly, look at them. They do nothing while non-Jews are toiling away for them.
Out here are doing the hard labor, and the Jewish people, I'm not sure what they do. Maybe we can ask this guy. Excuse me. What do most people do for work out here? You don't know? All right, cold shoulder.
You don't know? No, he does know. He doesn't want to talk to you. Why did you put these words in his mouth? He didn't answer because he doesn't want to talk to you. And he doesn't want to talk to you because he doesn't trust outsiders who come with questions like that, which are traps. And this is why I, as a YouTuber, have such a hard time getting anyone to talk for me, because of people like you who don't come with a genuine desire to understand, and then weaponize comments. And then when I try to get people to speak to me, they mistrust me. They assume that I'm doing the same thing. And so when you don't get an answer, it's not because he doesn't know, it's because he doesn't trust to share with you.
Question for you, sir. How long do people pray per day? Okay, what do people do for work?
I'm not a news reporter. We have to.
Okay, what do you do for work? Okay, you don't want to talk? How many hours a day do they pray?
3 hours a day.
Do people have 9 to 5s?
Yes.
Like, what industries are they involved in here?
Construction or other type of industries.
And what do you do?
I'm a student and also I'm doing home care.
What are you studying?
I'm studying Torah.
Torah?
Yes.
How old are you?
Our holy Torah.
And who pays for education?
I try to work on overtime.
Overtime?
Yes.
Where do you work overtime?
I work home care.
Home care?
Night, yes.
Is it like, do you have kids?
I have kids, yes.
How many kids?
3.
How do you afford to raise 3 kids while being a student?
Because I work very hard. I want to study the Torah. I'm very proud.
How do you afford to study the Torah, though?
God help me.
Does the American taxpayer help you too?
Also, yes.
Yeah. How many people
Wow.
out here are on like welfare in the form of like housing assistance or Section 8 or EBT, SNAP, Medicare?
Yes, yes, yes.
And that allows you to
Yes,
study the
yes,
Torah
yes. What? How many people?
and raise your kids?
Yes. Yes, thank
And
you.
how many kids do most
That was so problematic on so many levels. Wow, I'm having a really hard time with this video. I really want to temper my reactions, but it's very upsetting to me. First of all, interviewing lay people requires a sensitivity to the fact that they don't know how to communicate to a public and to ensure that the intentions of what they're trying to communicate comes through and not the words themselves. This is especially true in the Hasidic community, where people are not experienced with talking to outsiders and can often seem to be saying one thing and it requiring contextualizing in order for what they're trying to say to be clarified. For instance, what I'm hearing this man say is that he works. He seems to be hustling something. I don't know what home care means. Is he a direct care worker working with people in their homes and officially a koilel yingaman, meaning is he officially studying the Torah but also working 6-8 hours a day directly in with patients in home care, or is he working in office position? These are important questions. He is trying to express that he works very, very hard. He has 3 children. My assumption is he's 25. He's just getting out into the work world. There is usually a transition. You're a student full-time at 18. You're a student full-time maybe at 20 if you're a male. But you're starting to dabble in a career, in a work life. And by 25, you're really starting to feel your feet under you. So he is really transitioning into some kind of home care position. What is that home care work? Is it and these are questions he should be asking if he is curious about this person. Instead, he then leads the subject to self-incriminate by asking, how many people here are on welfare? Are you on welfare? So again, leading the subject to give information that will then provoke the viewers to be incensed, angry, and have all of these reactions that, of course, get a lot of views because this is what sells. So, this is an example of really awful journalism, of taking a person and decontextualizing what they are saying, cutting it in a way that we're not really understanding what he's fully saying. So, a lot of it is missing, but also of instead of getting the person to tell their actual story of how they're working overtime, leading them into a place of it seeming that this person is not working. And my assumption would be, based on my own knowledge of this community, that many people who are officially students also work a lot as they start to figure out their career.
People have out here.
17, 18.
How do they afford 17, 18 kids?
They are proud to do what the Torah says, that you need to be multiple and fruitful.
Wow. And do you think there's welfare abuse in the community out here?
No.
No, because they actually have the kids?
Yes.
They have the kids. Do they get tax credits for the kids?
What they get, but they are all doing to keep our Torah, yes.
Keep the Torah.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on people out there who can barely afford to have one kid?
If they want, they can have one, but if God's given them more, it's very proud.
Okay, shout out God.
Yes.
Okay.
One thing, we are very against the state of Israel. It's a very big problem for us.
Yeah, so you guys don't approve of a state of Israel before the Messiah comes, right?
Yes. Zionism is not Judaism. It's a very other thing.
Question for
We're only 4 minutes in. We're going to have to do something about that.
you, sir. What do you do for work out here?
It's definitely worth it, and it really is a game
Oh, no, we
changer
have to watch
of
an ad.
businesses that are
Okay.
scaling fast.
While
started
the
with
ad
that.
goes by.
The number-
Okay.
Are you on the phone? Or are you listening to the radio? Okay. Damn, it's tough to get some answers out of folks. What do you do for work?
Nothing.
How do you make money?
My wife.
Your wife? What does she do for work?
What is this? What?
Interview. Good to meet you. For YouTube. So your wife works and you study the Torah?
Have a good day.
How many kids do you have?
Have a good day.
How many children do you have? Okay, thank you.
This person owes you nothing. I'm guessing this person is early 20s and his wife is still working, probably. That's my educated guess. There's no knowing. But he looks very young to me. So the custom usually is that the girls graduate 11th or 12th grade and work until their first, second, third baby. Some of them stay working. Some of them become stay-at-home mothers. So if he's in his early 20s, it's quite normal for him to not yet be working. But again, he's being grilled and he knows better than to start talking too much.
Well, that was fascinating. Excuse me, do you study Torah?
Study that?
Torah?
No.
What do you do for work? Do you have a job? Does your wife work? Are you a student of the Torah?
Yes.
Do you work a job for money?
I?
Yeah.
No.
Does your wife?
Yes.
She does. Does your wife go to work to make money and you study Torah?
Where are you?
Tyler, good to meet you. I'm just doing a YouTube video about this place. I find it fascinating.
I don't have time. I have to.
But where are you going if you don't work?
I study.
So you study. And does your wife work? What industry does she work in? Teaching, education,
Teaching.
children? And how do you afford the kids if you don't work? Your wife? Okay, thank you. Sounds like a great setup.
Nebuch! These poor people. Feel so bad for them. He picked out the most innocent people who are the least savvy to know to just run away, don't talk, don't engage. And they're usually young Kollel students. That's what it's called. After marriage, for the first few years, when the wife usually works before the man usually goes out to work. Also, these men look really religious to me. They seem to be the more like religious types who will remain in Torah learning industries for life. So, for instance, they might be full-time students, but also tutor or work in the education system. So this man in particular, he was wearing a Rijvolka Rekel and I think a Platschike Bibelhit. So his garb and Schwarze Gläser, his garb told me that he was very, very religious. I wouldn't be surprised that he's a full-time Kollel student, but he's definitely not representative of the whole. And he also seems to be of the young demographic, which doesn't work yet. It's a little bit like going to a college and shoving a microphone in everyone's faces and saying, do you work? Do you work? How do you afford to go to college for $100,000, $150,000? Oh, really? The government subsidizes your college? Oh, very nice. Thank you for stealing from all of us. It's like that is the framing, essentially. Go to young people who are still learning, who are still in their college stage, and talk about the ways in which the income is not coming from them because it's their parents and the government, and make them sound like horrible leeches off of society. Now that isn't to say there aren't issues which we can go into, but the framing here is so ignorant. It's so incredibly ignorant of the complexities of how work life works in this community, which is that most men he's been talking to so far would be expected not to be working yet, or would be Torah scholars by profession. So if you're a really, really serious student and you're really good at learning, then you might get a stipend similar to being like a PhD or something for your Torah studies. There's also a concept of Wissenswissenschaft, which is if someone is a really effective businessman, they might subsidize someone who's a really effective Torah scholar. And the idea is the subsidizing businessman gets 50% of the afterlife reward. So it's a similar thing to supporting academics, supporting people you believe in their work. So for those who are really high level Torah scholars, or are very serious, or are very very, very pious, very sheltered, they might do kollel for many years, not just in their early 20s, but they would be earning a stipend and possibly even be subsidized by their father-in-laws or extended family. But that's only if they are seen as being very, very much qualified for it, meaning they're extra special, they're outliers, they're not the majority.
Damn, I might have to get in on that. Excuse me, what do women work at here? What jobs do women work in here? Is it mostly childcare? Okay, cold shoulder. Do you work a job as well as raise the kids? Do the women raise the kids in? Okay, tough to talk to the women out here. How do people afford to have families?
Is he on the minibus?
So like, as you raise baby, do you also go to work at some point? What do you do for work? Do you study the
Oh
Torah
my
for-
God, I think he got onto the minibus. There was a bus system in Monroe called the minibus in Kiryas Joel. Kiryas Joel is used to be in the town of Monroe. Fun fact, it ceded and became its own town. It's now the town of Palm Tree. It's called Palm Tree because the Satmar sect, which is the sect of the village of Kiryas Joel, is led by the Teitelbaum family. The first Satmar Rebbe is Rabbi Joel Teitelbaum. That's why it's called Kiryas Joel. And to name the town that it became after the Teitelbaum dynasty, they named it Town of Palm Tree. And oftentimes there are palm trees as the symbol of the Satmar sect, which is a little bit interesting. You walk in Williamsburg in the winter and you see these giant palm trees in the middle of Williamsburg, and you're like, oh, it's Florida, so great. But it's like the symbol of the Satmar sect because Teitelbaum, the name, is Yiddish for palm tree. But anyway, the town of Palm Tree, or the village of Kiryas Joel, had a minibus system that is now a big bus system, but we still call it the minibus, or I do anyway. I still have some tickets from the minibus, crazy. And it seems he got onto the minibus, which is hilarious. The women use it because the women of Kiryas Joel don't drive, which is very sad to me.
Study the Torah? Do you work a job? No? Does your wife work a job? Are you a
By
student?
the way, all men study the Torah. All men. Majority of men, I would say, in the Hasidic community of Kiryas Joel work. That's the majority, I would say. Bring in some kind of income, even if they're students, but many, many of them will work and not be full-time students. However, they will all study the Torah. They will study the Torah in the morning or after work. So, framing the question as do you study the Torah doesn't mean they're a full-time student.
Do you work? Are you a student? Man, I can't do this anymore. Question for you. Do you study Torah? Do you study the Torah? Excuse me, sir. Do you study the Torah? Hey. Oh, you speak on his behalf? How do you know that? Get on out of here. He said he doesn't want to give an interview. How would he know? Do they communicate telepathically via hive mind? Oi.
Oh, really? They're magical people now? Excuse me, you're accosting people in the streets. At least have the humility to own it. You're bothering people as they're going on with their lives with very personal, private questions, and they clearly are aware that you're trying to incriminate them. And then when they turn you down, you feel sorry for yourself. You feel like you had been wronged. You can't do this anymore. Really? Try being me, a woman, an ex-Hasidic woman trying to document this world. It's your work as a journalist to try to get access, not to just punch people in the face with your microphone. But also, if someone tells you he doesn't want to be interviewed, that's a reasonable assumption. It's not a telepathic communication. It's an educated assumption that is very, very obvious from 8 million factors, from the person avoiding you to the fact that outsiders shoving a microphone into people's faces is something that most people in this community don't want.
Tyler, yes. How are you, my friend? How are you doing? Yes.
Wow.
How are you? You want to say hi?
Independent journalist.
Yes.
Lucy, you want to say hi?
No.
Okay, how are you doing?
Hey, shit, this office.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about this place?
Sure, we go up here.
Okay.
It's a very nice place.
Yeah, and it's mostly Hasidic Jews?
Yes,
Okay.
it's only Hasidic Jews.
And it's one of the most biggest growing towns,
big
right? By
growing town.
percentage?
It's the biggest in the
Big
United-
families, too.
Big families, right?
How do people afford to have such big families out here?
It's. I'm not saying anything.
What do you mean? How do they have such big families?
We believe in God, that
Believe in God?
created that.
Okay. Hey, thanks for saying hi, my friend.
I don't know who you are.
Oh,
My name's Tyler Oliviera.
I don't talk to suspicious persons.
How am I suspicious?
I don't know who you are.
Damn, ouch, that hurt my feelings. Do you study
Oh,
Torah?
see?
Or do you work a job or own business?
Your feelings.
Works a job
Well,
and
that's not true.
Torah.
What's up?
They have Torah and they work.
That's not true.
True.
That's a lie.
That is true.
That's not true.
Suspicious person.
That's not true. I've talked to people, they said some of them just study the Torah. They told me themselves.
Well, some.
So who's the liar? I understand that. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know who
Wow.
you are.
I'm just asking questions. How many children do you have?
Oh, thank God for an ad. It's giving me something.
You work for Hamas?
What? I'm a journalist. I'm just exploring. YouTube vlogger. I don't work for Hamas. He said, do you work for Hamas? What? Okay, so this is the most beautiful
Wow. This is so upsetting to me. I'm really upset watching this. It is true that people work and study the Torah. And if he was an actual journalist, he would not be cold stopping people in the streets, but he would be talking to those who can be cultural translators to understand what people say when they say they're students or they study the Torah. For instance, it's crucial to understand that the building we see in the background is called a kollel. A kollel is where men go to study for a stipend. Traditionally, after yeshiva, which is after marriage at about 18, 19, 20, the men study in kollel for a couple of years, a year, 2 years, 3 years. With exception, most of them will just be in kollel for a couple of years, and the kollel will give them a small stipend. If they're really good, they might get more of a stipend. If they're really good, they'll start getting positions in education, meaning in teaching in yeshiva, in being a tutor, and so on. But when someone says they're a student, they might be a student at this building, the kollel, where they are getting a stipend. Again, this is very important for you to learn. You're not a journalist if what you're doing is just decontextualizing people's comments and misunderstanding them. No, you are wrong. telling this Hasidic person it's not true. And you know, he will ask of lay people questions that are so loaded and scare them that they're going to incriminate themselves or the community by implying that there is welfare fraud, which of course there is to some degree. There is to some degree in all societies, and to which degree this is more prevalent or not is its own conversation. But you're asking people a question that makes them feel culpable if anyone gets implicated in welfare fraud, and so they're scared and they're afraid to say anything, and you take the non-answer as an admission of guilt. And again, this is not journalism.
$10 million synagogue right here. It is quite nice. Let's see if anyone wants to talk.
This is Greußen,
Hello.
big synagogue.
Are most people here rabbis? 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 Are you guys rabbis?
No.
Okay. Do most of them work as... Yes, hello. I'm asking men what they do for a living out here. Are most people here...
What number?
Oh, it's just my name, Tyler. I'm just asking Hasidic Jews out here because I know it's...
Not for
What do you mean?
Never.
People are not gonna answer you because
What do most men
Torturing
do here for
people.
work? Is it they study the Torah?
no, most people are working in Amazon like this.
CNN? No, I just have a YouTube channel.
The mere presence of a goyim was sufficient to raise suspicion.
Question for you. What do most men do for work here? Are they rabbis? This is working?
No.
What do they do? Because I'm trying to talk to people, just figure out what the main industry is.
A lot of things.
Can you give me some ideas?
Oh, go outside.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying to talk to folks like you, how you make your money and afford to raise your families.
Rolls.
What?
54 rolls.
But then I finally met this guy who gave me some wisdom.
54 Ross? What did he say? Did he give an address? Or Rav? Did he say... I couldn't make it out. Let me try one more time.
Talk to folks like you, how you make your money and afford to raise your families.
Rolls.
What?
54 rolls.
But then I finally met this
I'm hearing 54 Ross.
guy who gave me some wisdom.
Help me out.
Everything people do.
What do you do for a living?
Billboards.
How long does the prayer last? And when do people go to work?
People go from 9 o'clock in the morning, from 6 o'clock in the morning until the night.
So how do they pay their bills?
How they pay the bills? By working.
Well, when do they work if they're praying all day?
They're not praying.
Oh
all
my
day.
God, they're
You have a
not
lot of
praying. They're not praying from 9 to 6. From 6 to 9. Oh
people
my
coming in the morning and going into work, then coming back to pray. You have a lot of people coming in the morning to pray. They have people just waking up late.
I see.
From
Okay.
having a
Different
big
schedules.
community.
So you own a billboard company?
Yes,
How do people afford to have like 10 kids out here?
the community is based on this. So
Okay, so is it wealthy members of the community give charity?
yes, mostly. That's the way.
Are most people on Medicaid?
Did
SNAP,
you see he just led this person to an answer because he doesn't do his research and he doesn't actually talk to people who are able to express this. So he spoon feeds an answer and then he runs with it. To be clear, prayers are 3 times a day. There's a morning prayer and an afternoon prayer and an evening prayer. And the afternoon evening prayer are often recited together. So let's say if you go to work in Manhattan, you'll usually pray on the bus. There will be a quorum of men praying, at least 10 men together on the bus. And maybe that will take a half hour, I think. I'm not entirely sure. And then the evening prayers will be another prayer session, maybe a half hour. If people go separately for the afternoon prayer, it's maybe going to be 15 minutes, a half hour. You can correct me in the comments. Some of this I'm not so versed in because as a woman, I didn't do this. We did pray in school, I think a half hour every morning and 15 minutes every end of the day. It was a lot of singing, chanting quietly, loudly. But I was never a big prayer. So the moment there was off, I never prayed. And my mother never said anything about it. She never minded. One thing that I find interesting is he's going into Greußen. This is the big synagogue in the middle of Kiryas Joel. It's gotten expanded since my days. In my days, this was like the iconic central synagogue. And if my mother needed my father on a holiday or Shabbos, she wasn't able to call. You're not allowed to make a phone call. We daughters would be sent to Greußen Besmedrish, where my father prayed for many hours during holidays. We would be sent outside to ask someone to call out my brother so we could relay a message to my father. And this was especially urgent, and it was done very rarely, but it was especially urgent if my mother went into labor. So I remember hanging out outside of Greusen and trying to work up the courage to talk to a boy and ask him to call out my brother so my brother can tell my father that mommy is going to the hospital or something. And so I never went into the men's section. I've only been into the women's section. So it's really interesting the way he goes in. He's just walking into these private places where you're not allowed to film, where I don't even know how he's allowed to do all of this. And he's just shoving, like he's going into places that to me, for me to be able to get into them would be the dream of a lifetime, to be able to get access to go in there and film, and he just bulldozes right in and just walks in and in the middle of people's prayers and whatever. But then again, he also gets very very limited reactions. They're not reactions that tell any big story. They're just snippets from people who are not accustomed to telling their story and therefore are not giving him information that's actually useful, although of course he's running with it because that's what he does.
T, let's be honest.
I don't know. I can't speak for other people.
What about you?
I'm not going to tell about myself.
Okay.
A lot of these folks have business there. Not all of them. Okay. Some of them.
But there's a lot of you guys, right?
Some of them are being supported by community members.
Okay. What's the big industry for women out here? Is it childcare? Because I noticed Mexicans seem to work like retail, construction. Many men will tell me my wife works, but I do not.
That's not true.
That's what they told me, though. They themselves.
The first 2 years after they get married.
Okay.
There
Only
you go.
the first 2 years.
Okay.
He's 100% right.
Most men.
Okay, all right. How many kids do you have? I'm going to guess you have 13?
The worst state to live in right now is
He's not
New
believing
York,
the people who
and
tell him the
nobody's
truth.
talking about it.
They all
Because he's
vote
ignorant.
unanimously in favor for it. Look at this. There's a car accident every 5 seconds. Some of the driving out here is horrendous. It's truly terrible. What do the Jewish people here do for work, from what you've seen? Do they just pray, or?
No. So yes, they pray every single day, and they walk every single day after this matter.
After they pray, they go to work?
Yeah. They drive in a school bus and a transit bus.
Excuse me, gentlemen. What do you guys do for work here? Do you guys have like businesses, like work a job? Do you guys study Torah?
I have a job.
What do you do?
I'm in sales.
Are you lying to me? Just the way you looked at him, I'm just like, what? Is it just ink? What do you do?
No, he's not lying to you. He's afraid to give away information. Oh my goodness. He probably has a job. I 100% believe him. He's afraid to give away information because he knows it's going to be twisted, because the media usually is very negative about this community.
What do you sell?
Food.
Why do you keep looking at him? Okay. What food do you sell?
Chocolates.
What? I feel like I'm getting bamboozled right here. I don't understand the look back there.
Okay. You're an ignorant, excuse me, I'm not going to curse. You're not getting bamboozled. You're coming into a world without the information you need in order to understand the body language, and then you are inferring from it information that is wrong. Okay? You're a bad journalist. He is looking to the other man for permission to see if he can share what his livelihood is. Am I giving away too much? That is the look between them. I absolutely believe him that he does chocolate sales. He might be a distributor of kosher chocolate. He might be working for a company that does chocolates and go between grocery stores and sell the product. He's not lying to you. He's afraid to share, and he's afraid to share in the presence of another person who might judge him for speaking to an outsider. Like, why do you talk to him? This is very common, that sometimes when someone will talk to an outsider, other community members will sort of interrupt and maybe police them, maybe monitor them. Like, what are you doing? Why do you give away information? Why do you engage with these people? They want our ill, and in this case, they're not wrong.
There. Do most women raise their households and then they work afterwards?
Some, not most.
Some. Okay. Like what percentage? Half?
Maybe half.
Maybe half?
Usually when they study, they do just that.
Okay.
But the ones who work study in the morning and late afternoon and in the evening.
To be fair, I have seen people who work bus driver jobs, some people doing something in the shop, sort of managing the shop.
He's not listening to people. This woman also gave you the same information I just gave you, which is that many people, if the husband is still studying, a student in early years of marriage, then the wife would be supporting the family, and then he would go out to work and study in the morning and at night. So studying for men is for life, but oftentimes it's like gym culture in wider society, early morning and late at night. But he's not listening, and he's just looking around, and
The construction and hard labor seems to be exclusively executed by the Mexicans. Excuse me, miss. Do women work and raise the kids out here?
Sometimes.
Do the men work or do they study the Torah? The sheer density of minivans out here is a phenomenon in and of itself. Excuse me.
That is true.
What do you do for a living? Okay. What do you do for work? What do you do for a living, sir? Ah, tough scene. Excuse me. What do you do for a living? Excuse me, what do you do for work?
A student.
You're a student. You're old, though.
Follow you on YouTube.
There we go. So you got to answer this question for me then. What do people do for work out here?
We do construction, we do everything.
Do people spend hours praying in the synagogue and then they work afterwards?
Yeah.
Do the women raise the kids and that's all they do, or do they work as well?
They work as well. The men also raise their kids.
Wow.
We just don't.
Oh, I love that.
Whatever normal people is doing,
Yeah.
we're doing.
Okay.
But
Whatever
we do it
normal people do, we
mostly
do.
in the kosher way. Instead of selling to general supermarkets,
I see.
for example, I'm in the kosher food. I sell
Okay.
for kosher supermarkets.
What I'm hearing is they'll gladly take money out of the American tax base to support their lifestyle, and if they do start a business, it'll most likely accommodate and service Jews.
We don't buy.
Wow, that's what you heard? I thought you're finally hearing people say what they do for a living. This person's said the money quote. If I made this video, this was the most important line. Whatever normal people do, we do, which is true. That's the truth. And his takeaway is actually, you, my dear viewer, are being ripped off by these Jews who don't work, and if they do work, they're taking money from you, starting a business in some kind of like taking from you and then just keeping it for themselves. Yuck.
Nobody. We don't kill.
This is true. No violence out here.
No violence.
No drugs.
No drugs. No stealing. No.
So many ads.
No, nothing.
I've only seen bad drivers, though.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because we have so much. We have like 10 children. We're all too busy. That's why we were upset by driving. We're getting nervous. That's the biggest violence you'll find us. One day a year, it's called Purim.
Party.
We dance. People getting drunk. And the biggest good thing about that we're giving donations for other people.
Oh, that's right.
Do you know how much money goes out in this village?
I'm gonna guess millions.
Millions, and that's without being so polite, keeping open the doors. That's a thing
Some
on the.
Gentile behavior.
Yeah, right. No, not Gentile. It's a,
Some goy
but
behavior.
you're not going. I can see it.
I'm goyim.
No, you're not going. You're a Yid. Going back, you're a Yiddish kid.
Okay.
Are you a Yid?
I'm goyim.
Can you show me your license?
I know that you guys don't support Zionism, or you guys don't support the Jewish state until the Messiah is here, right?
Exactly. They are not the Jewish people. They are not us, and we are not them. They are not Jewish at all. The state of Israel is a secular state, same as Japanese, but they call themselves Jewish people. They don't obey no laws. They're taking out kids from the yeshiva, sending them to draft to army to fight Hamas, which they create the problem. If they would listen to the Torah, the whole war wouldn't be.
How do people afford to have so many kids here?
They don't afford. We help each other.
I'm not
We open
exactly
two-
sure the comments about Israel, what he was saying. It's too heavily cut. Again, from a precision perspective, the quotes are not contextualized, and they're not. I'm not getting the full comment that this man made about Israel, but what was very incisive, reflective was his expression of frustration with Israel for the draft and for the secular nature of the state, which is what mainstream Hasidic Kiryas Joel criticism of Israel would be. So whereas the first man who was like, Zionism is not Judaism, was to me very visibly fringe. This man is expressing a mainstream view, which is not so much all Israel's bad, bad, bad. Let's make a statement for the whole world to hear it. I have a microphone. Let me run to the microphone and make the statement. It's more, since you've asked me, I'll explain to you that we have an issue with the secular nature of the state and with a draft, which is seen as taking children away from religion, which was an interesting, it was an insightful comment, a revealing comment.
Groceries called Maitiv. We're giving them 50% discount. Just giving you one example.
Yeah, I could get a discount too?
Yes, because the store is officially made for everybody.
The one thing I am curious about though is
something that I find interesting. I'm going to stop criticizing him because you already know how I feel about him. It's very frustrating though to watch. But I will say what's interesting about Hasidim is that they tend to talk a lot about the charity of the community. It's a kind of like internal propaganda. There are several talking points that people do know. They're very few, very, very, very few. People are not accustomed to selling their life to outsiders. They're so not into proselytizing. They're so not into selling themselves. They're so actually an attitude of don't join. Like a Hasidic man said to me, if anyone wants to join, I don't know what's wrong with their life. Like, why would you join? Why would a normal person join? Stay in your life. I stay in my life. We all grow up different ways and we live how we grow up. So people are not accustomed to talking about their life in a convincing way, to selling their life. There is very little language for that. And this is what differentiates, for instance, Satmar from the Chabad community so very much. Chabad is extremely adept at talking about itself, and that's because they do outreach and they do try to get other people to join, and that teaches them tools of sales, of propaganda, of talking about their world, of cultural communication. I mean, propaganda is a very hard word. Harsh word. Forget I used that. But I personally, as an ex-Satmar person, actually find myself mistrusting Chabad because we grew up with a sense of Chabad is too sales oriented. They know how to pitch their world, and we did not know how to pitch our world, and we had very little language for expressing our world in a way that outsiders can understand. But there are two things that this man is expressing that we did know how to talk about, and one was the safety of the community, the lack of drugs, or the relative lack of violence and drugs to wider population, which I think is true, and also chesed, charity. This is something that everyone knows. And people will stop me in the street to this day and they will say, I watch your videos, why don't you talk about chesed? They always want you to talk about chesed. They always know that this is something like a selling point. The charity, the kindness, 15% off, this percent off. People are giving charity on Purim. Rich people are giving to poor people money, and so on and so forth. So that's something that people can speak to effectively. If you are a journalist, your responsibility is to understand how people communicate and what they are adept at selling and what they are not adept at selling, and to buttress that, to make sure that you're not becoming a tool for their propaganda, but also that you're not misrepresenting them. And this guy, Tyler, is doing both. One little additional thing in the background, you can see a kosher phone vending machine, one of my favorite things. It says now and here. I'm guessing this is the kiosk where you can buy for like $100 a kosher phone. I've done videos on it. It's a little Coca-Cola looking vending machine. You just put in a credit card and you get a kosher phone right then and there, these flip phones. And this makes me notice that this guy has a smartphone.
the welfare use.
Both the federal or whatever the state, they're both spending equals money for other people. The only difference is over here, the money is being spent for us in our mouth to eat, and in Bronx it's being spent for the NYPD to fight.
Are you on welfare?
Interesting.
Do you know anyone on welfare here?
I won't comment on that question.
Come on.
How should I answer the
You own a shop. You own a supermarket, basically. So you would know. Give me a rough estimate if
No,
you can.
no.
Why not?
No, I'm not.
Why?
I'm not gonna comment.
Why? Why is that the stickler?
Because I can't answer you as simple.
You can give me a rough estimate, though. Just ballpark.
What do you think? And
I'm gonna guess 33%.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's probably about on average throughout the U.S. That's not terrible.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to figure out how people afford to raise 10 plus kids on sometimes single income households.
We don't spend so much money for each kid.
Humble living. Okay? Like how many kids per family?
10, 12, 14, 15.
Woof. That's huge. And how do people afford to have such big families out here?
Working.
Working? Like, what do people do for work out here?
What to do? Brokerage.
Brokerage?
Construction.
Okay.
Teaching in school.
Okay, teaching, school, construction. What percentage of people do you think are on welfare, Medicaid? A lot?
Latvia.
Okay. What do they do?
What I do?
Yeah, what do you do for work?
I'm a student.
Student? Okay.
He looks
how
so
old are you?
young.
Okay, it's very late to me.
I see. Thank you. Would you like to be interviewed?
I know can professional English, so.
You speak English? Any
So
English?
cute.
No? Okay.
I know can professional
English out here. It's tough to find anyone besides the Mexicans out here at work. These guys are looking at their phones half the time too. I'm a little bit confused. And why is everyone on the flip phone? Are they actually speaking to someone? Like, are you actually on the phone with someone?
Yes.
Oh, you are. Okay. Some people I hear are on the radios.
Could be.
Okay. Pregunta.
That's true. I have a video on that.
Jews?
Yes.
Solo?
Yes, only the Jews.
And las personas Hispanic trabaja por construcción?
Yes.
Jews trabaja en construcción aquí o no?
Only the Hispanics.
Hispanics? Okay. Thank you, my friend. Okay, so this is sort of a well-known fact, but it's good to hear from him that the Hispanics are working the construction out here and the Jews are living here. You work in the medical industry.
Oh my goodness. Wow. He's really, really setting it up. You should understand that there are parts of the economic industries in the Hasidic community that are paid too low for Hasidic Jews to do them. And so they end up being filled by Mexican laborers, and this includes construction, home cleaning, which is usually Central American women, and also low paid labor in restaurants. And there is room for criticism of that, but to imply that they are just sitting on their behinds and doing nothing while goyim, which by the way I hate the way he uses the term. He's not a goyim. Goyim is a plural term, and he uses it to intentionally incite a reaction. He would be a goy, a singular, if that was the term, and he's a non-Jew. Like he uses the term instead of non-Jew to be provocative, but it's not that these Jews are sitting on their behinds while non-Jews are doing all the work for them. Usually the managerial positions on construction sites will be the Hasidic Jews and the manual labor will be Mexicans, but that's the case all over. I see it all over Brooklyn. I see it all over the city. This is the demographic that's willing to do low-paid manual labor in a world where that kind of labor doesn't pay enough to live. Most Hasidim are actually entrepreneurs. They'll need to work higher paid jobs.
And you help someone who's elderly or?
Well, it's for pediatrics.
Pediatrics.
It's a private office for Dr. Wurzberger.
Okay, I've noticed that
Dr.
seemingly
Wurzberger.
only Hispanics are out here working.
Yes.
And I have not seen many of the Jewish people here working.
Yeah.
Do you know what's going on there?
That I don't know, but we do have a few coworkers also that are
Okay.
Jewish. But I have noticed that also.
I'm trying to figure out how you guys afford to have so many kids, though.
I mean,
I see all these Mexican workers, too.
personally,
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
You're struggling? Yeah.
It's not easy. Most of
Okay.
the people I know are struggling.
Are most people who have this amount of kids on forms of welfare, like SNAP, Medicaid, housing assistance, that sort of thing?
A lot of people. I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't talk for others, and I don't know.
Do you
A lot of
think?
people have because I mean,
Yeah.
for sure they are eligible for.
Like tax credits for the kids, right?
Yeah, they're eligible.
Meet Spedience Gym Monster 2, your all-in-one smart home gym. It's compact.
More for whatever, for low income, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because you have that many kids.
Like Section 8 waivers for stuff like this?
Something like.
Yeah. So Do most people work jobs out here? Or is it kind of just raising their kids?
As far as I know, yes. I mean, the woman will raise her kids, and most of the men will work.
And the women raise the kids full time?
Most of them. There are some women who will work part-time, and less women
Yeah.
work full-time. But it's very hard to work when you have kids.
Right. Could I move here as a non-Hasidic Jew? Would I be able to, though? That's my real question, because I've heard it's practically impossible.
It's not true.
It's not true?
No. Nobody can stop you. You're not going to be comfortable.
I get that, but would someone actually rent or sell me a house out here as a non-Hasidic Jew? Unlikely, right?
It's not unlikely. I mean, unlikely maybe. I can't.
Okay.
I don't own a house.
Sure.
To rent you to ask you this question.
Yeah.
But the point is that everybody lives wherever they want to.
Sure.
Like the same as I live here. Nobody told me, hey, you have to live here. I live here because I want to live here. Correct?
Yeah, that makes sense.
If a secular guy is going to move here and he's going to be uncomfortable. I don't want my kids should play in the house of a secular guy, because the reason why I want to live here because I want to be religious.
I see.
I want my kids should be religious.
Sure. That makes sense.
I don't hate them. I love
Yeah.
everybody.
No, that's reasonable.
I will have
Yeah. Have you heard of the all-white community in the Ozarks?
I know, yeah.
Would you agree with them doing that?
I don't know. I don't want to live there. The point is not this.
But you think they should be allowed to do so, though, right?
I don't. I have a lot of opinions.
Do you think they should?
As I told you, you have to sit down with me.
Oh man, you're a complicated guy. Could I buy a house there? Would they let me?
Legally?
I do like this guy. Whoever he is, I'll interview him. Reach out to me. Seems like a sweet person.
Thank you.
Legally, I could, but they wouldn't, right?
It's a good question. How they will deal with that?
Why is everyone so busy? Back to the video.
No, speak English.
None?
No.
Oh, as I was going
By the way, that
around,
person
my
is not a
drum-
community member. He's wearing totally different garb. He looks yeshivish to me. I don't know. Maybe I don't know where he's from, that he doesn't speak English, or if he's lying. Hopefully, I didn't incriminate anyone who's telling the truth. Anyway, I do want to say a comment about living in Kiryas Joel. That was a very difficult question that he posed about, can an outsider like Tyler live in Kiryas Joel? And I think this sweet man in the minivan handled it as well as he could. Considering that people here don't know how to talk to outsiders, I think he did a really good job. There is a complicated ecosystem at play here. There's the housing market, and Tyler is right about that. You have to get access to the housing market, which is Yiddish language and is off regular channels, and getting access to the housing market would probably be impossible for him. But also there is a whole community ecosystem of educational institutions, of communal institutions like houses of worship where men hang out for many hours, and all of these spaces are conditional on being members of the community. For instance, the schools are private schools that are gender segregated. So how do you live in Kiryas Joel and as a part of this very closely knit fabric society and extract yourself from the elements of the community? Also, one last point that's very important to make is housing shortages are a real issue in this population because of its fast growing rate. And so there's a lot of competition for housing, and the benefits of getting housing in this community are multifaceted. The man in the minivan touched on one, being sheltered for his children, which is a benefit he's seeking. He wants his children to be sheltered from secular values. Freedom of religion is an American value, and he has the right to raise his children in this religious worldview. And so the population of people who want housing in Kiryas Joel and want the many, many layers of advantages for them that come with it, schooling, kosher food, synagogues, walking distance to family members, and so on and so forth, are so competitive and eager for the housing stock that just from a market perspective, they would not want someone like Tyler to come in and also compete for the housing, because Tyler doesn't benefit in the way they do. He doesn't need a kosher kitchen. He doesn't need a balcony for a sukkah. He doesn't need a giant master bedroom and a lot of little bedrooms for children. He doesn't need a Passover kitchen and a vanity outside of the bathroom for washing your hands in a kosher space after going to the bathroom, and so on and so forth. He doesn't have the needs that this community is providing for. And so if he comes in and takes away from the housing stock, just on a non-religious level, this would be very upsetting to the locals, and therefore it creates an imperative to keep the housing market sort of locked, or the housing market almost going the housing market from never actually entering an official market, but getting swept off the market through word of mouth. So if I am vacating a Hasidic apartment in Kiryas Joel, it will then very quickly be rented, occupied by someone from the community without it needing to be put on street easy, because there is so much demand for housing stock.
Phone capture the most dangerous people in the city. Bad drivers. But real quick, the sponsor of this video pulled out once they learned what the topic was. So if you want to support the channel, get access to these videos early, and watch
don't support him, support
content
me.
I can't upload on YouTube.
New year, fresh start. Drink cleaner, healthier water all year long with Aquasana water.
Go subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/Tyler Oliviera for $5 a month. Back to the video.
I have $500. You want? I can give you.
Hi, sir. He said that he gave me $500.
And go check it out.
You can call the police. They'll make a police report.
It doesn't pay.
$500 for that? Come on, man.
At least you give me $2,000.
I don't have $2,000.
You give me a change.
I don't have $2,000.
Oh, if it were me, I would just call the police, get the police report, and handle it through his insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's some damage right there. $2,000-$3,000 worth is my guess. And just for context, do you live here? You work here? Okay. Wow, look at this, another accident! Oh my God! It just hit. They cannot
This is the
drive out here.
minibus.
There's a car accident here. They're trying to go outside of insurance. It's a phenomenal style of driving out here that leads to quite a few car accidents, it seems like.
She's concerned that the police might have a really good relationship with the people here.
Oh, valid. They probably do. That's why we're going to hold them accountable with the camera. What happened?
I came down over here and she was over here and I was waiting and she started to backing up. I was turning and that's it.
I see, the rest is history.
I need license and registration.
Oh, yeah. He said that he's going to give me $2,000 to send me quick pay.
He said he's gonna give her $2,000 now, what she was originally asking, so we don't, use the resources and all that.
Okay, I gotta ask you a question. How many kids do you have?
7.
7? How do you afford to feed 7 kids out here?
I work 24 hours.
24 hours on the bus. Wow, okay. Big families, hard workers.
God bless your trip.
Thank you.
23 degrees, frozen streets. School bus doesn't give up. No one can drive out here. We got the buses on our ass right now. What is this? What is this?
This is a minibus.
Bro, this driving is insane. Bro,
That's
what
a
is
school.
this fucking idiot in the
This
school
looks like
bus?
Section 1.
Bro, what the What is this driving? What is this driving?
The way you're driving.
You're trying to kill us out here.
You were driving below the speed limit.
No, we weren't.
25.
You need to learn how to drive. You're gonna get your kids killed in here. You're gonna get these kids killed. An irresponsible school bus driver. And if you walk through the neighborhood, you'll begin to see the presence of kids everywhere as women give birth to about 7 children on average. Massive families, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus kids per family out here. All of these strollers and little kid bikes. Another one. Tons of kids. And then a school bus for those kids. New construction over there, more houses being built, foundation being laid. Some of these houses are quite nice. I imagine there are massive families inside them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 wheeled toys for the kids. Can I ask you?
I want to make a comment about this. I don't know if he brings it up, but what my observation about these children's toys is that they're left outside and there is no concern about them being stolen. There is tremendous amount of safety and security in this world, and the children are free to leave their bikes, trikes, and stuff outside and share it with each others without needing to lock it up because it's a very safe world. And that is a sweet thing for children to grow up with.
How large is your family?
One.
And do most families have, how many kids do they have? Most families?
5, 10.
5, 10? How do they pay for that many kids? You don't know? What is your job?
The Bible.
You read the Bible?
It's very late for me.
For the kids?
The Bible. People here don't know how to express themselves. There's no knowing what he's actually doing if you don't come informed. What does he mean by I read the Bible? He's trying to say something. I don't know what he's trying to say.
What is your job? Like, what do you do to make money?
My wife is working.
Okay, your wife
He's
works?
a koileli.
Yeah, I have no time.
What do you do for work? Okay, all right, busy man. Thank you.
I'm a family of 6.
Okay, nice.
And I do handiwork.
Okay. Do most people out here work?
Just a little fact. Clothing is a big tell on giving you away who's more likely to be a koileli, meaning a student studying holy texts, and who's more likely to be a balbatisha person, a person who works. This guy's wearing a polo and has that ovgedreite, his beard is like either trimmed or turned up. And he looks a lot more businesslike than almost all the people we have met. Most of the people he stops on the street seem to be koileli galat, seem to be the more studious student types based on their garb. And this guy, I'm not surprised, is working.
Okay. What percentage of this whole town is children? Maybe like half?
No, more than half.
More than half?
Yeah, because if you can have like 15 children in a family, automatically it's much more than half.
And last question for you. Are most families out here on any form of welfare, like Section 8, SNAP, Medicaid, housing assistance?
Most families?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so, not as far as I know.
Are you?
I have Medicaid, but
Okay.
I have my own business and I make my money fair and square.
Respect. Okay, we got the crown.
This is, by the way, what really bothers me about this whole they're all on welfare story. People can work and qualify for
right here.
government aid, Medicaid, food stamps, especially if you have many children. It doesn't mean they're on welfare. Welfare itself pays very little and is very difficult to get in the United States. Our social welfare system is, in my view, very impoverished. But yeah, you can get a sizable amount of food stamps assistance with a EBT card, and you can get Medicaid, which I think is very common in this population, but it's very common in general with ethnic populations, I think, but especially with large families. In the United States, family size determines where you are on the poverty scale. So if you have a very large family, your likelihood of qualifying as being falling under the poverty rate, and in New York, I think you have to be over 100% and you can still, of the poverty rate, and you can still qualify for Medicaid. You still get programs. I really dislike this framing of they're all on welfare. Welfare is one thing. EBT, food stamps, is another thing. Medicaid is another thing. There are different criteria for each. And getting welfare is very difficult. And getting EBT, food stamps, is not if you have a lot of children, and it doesn't mean that you're not working. And it doesn't mean that you're not contributing to taxes. You're still purchasing things in life. You're still paying all sorts of taxes in life, from sales tax to income tax. And the insinuation that this is all leeching is going to be such an everlasting stereotype that is already prevalent, but is really, really going to become even more so the assumption that a lot of outsiders make when they see Hasidic Jews as a result of the framing of this video.
Hello. Can I interview as a local business owner? I'm trying to ask people about their business out here and how life is in Kiryas Joel.
Which kind of stores do you take?
Kiryas Joel is
just want to
pretty
interview
good.
anyone who owns
His
a store out here.
pronunciation.
Where is it going?
On YouTube.
It's working now?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No? Okay. Oh, man. Okay, so you don't want to be interviewed.
Delete this file.
I cannot delete it, but I will walk away. Are you sure you don't want to be interviewed?
I can sue you.
You can sue me? What? You went from this to this? You went nuclear.
By the way, I have been experiencing this. I asked a very wonderful street photographer if I could use one of his photos as a thumbnail, and a Hasidic woman contacted me and said she was going to sue me if I don't take it off, even though I had full permission from the photographer and it was totally legally shot in the streets. And I did take it down, not because I was afraid she was going to sue me, but because she was so upset about it. But obviously, he's just going with it. I do admire his fearlessness.
He's gonna sue me. Come on now. See this driving. My God, this terrible driving skill is a testament to the dense population. My God. It's a fascinating way of life.
But despite 40% of the population living beneath the poverty line, I did not have to worry about getting shot or mugged out here by gangsta drug dealers on the corner of every block. In terms of random violence, I think this is the safest place I have ever filmed at.
We got is this a flip phone vending machine? Flip phone vending machine?
Wow. Instead of liquor stores, they had kosher phone vending machines and public safety security force.
Is this funded by the taxpayers, this public safety, all these trucks and whatnot? Yes. Okay, so this is tax...
I have no time to spend on the phone now.
Oh, you're busy, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, of course. Of course you are.
Is he implying that taxpayers are non-Jews and that funding by the taxpayers means outsiders are paying for it? Is that the implication he's making? He's just so full of bias and manipulation. Wow. One thing I wanted to talk about is the business owner refusing to be interviewed. He looked also like a business owner. He was wearing just a white shirt, if I remember correctly, and he also looked a lot more like worldly. But these people are not in the streets, and he's not talking to them, and they're also a lot more savvy about not talking to him. They're a lot more worldly, and so they know not to get themselves into hot water like the Kolel Yingalat, the students who did talk to him more willingly and or did sort of comply with his demands for answers, and so I think he's getting a disproportionately misrepresentative sample of Kolel Yingalat talking to him than reflects the actual population for several reasons, because most of the actual business people are at work, and also because the actual business people know how to shut him down. They're more sophisticated.
Thanks.
And volunteer firefighters and EMS.
Can you show me what's going on in here? Tell me what you guys do.
So basically, we provide coverage for the fire service for the village of Kiryas Joel and the town of Palm Tree.
Okay. Are you a volunteer firefighter?
This is all volunteer fire.
All volunteer work.
Fire department.
And how fast can you guys respond to emergencies, given how tiny the town is?
We have a 90-second response.
90 seconds?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So anyone, even non-Jewish people, you guys will arrive?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Just for the whole community?
Yeah.
Okay, nice, man. Some volunteer work. There's some lessons we could learn. Communal living, helping each other out, looking out for each other.
They even had their own kosher AAA.
So we got the Chevy Suburban, we got a pickup truck, and let me show you the
This is
equipment.
like Jewish AAA or what?
Basically.
But it's community funded, right?
Yes.
Who pays for the trucks?
We have a couple of sponsorships. Collision on the Go is one of our
That's
sponsors.
a local company here?
Yes.
In the area?
Ooh, Collision
So,
on the Go
for instance,
got lucked
I do not
out.
have to have a AAA membership if I live in...
I see what he means by AAA.
No, you can have our number. We got everything. All the equipment, everything what we need.
Even for the Gentiles?
Whatever you need. You call us, we're coming
Okay, so you guys
out.
are helping anyone who calls?
You call us, we go out.
Okay, we're hopping on a call right now. Let's see how this works.
Sweet.
Thanks for having me.
So this demographic of like volunteers are usually more chilled crowd, and so they're wearing more casual clothing, and they seem much more adept at interacting with him.
The call.
So was a flat tire?
Just a community member.
Yeah.
And he has a
someone
smartphone.
called.
Okay, there it is. Okay, so he's already on the job. He got here faster than us. Young volunteer, quick to the work. It would be pretty convenient to get a flat tire, call up the city, and they just help you out. Imagine that world. When you live the same, you look the same, you pray the same, you can do cool shit like that. We're at the Kiryas Joel Volunteer EMS. You gotta give respect to all these guys doing volunteer work for the community. Can I pop in?
Sure.
Okay.
And here you go. Here's the food packages. Everybody gets a package of that. Some little chips inside.
Right, this is beautiful. Community unification here and altruism. I like it. And we gotta take notes.
Yeah, I've actually just recently learned this when a family member was taken with a Hasidic EMS to the hospital, that they give you a little food package to take with you into the emergency room. It has like little bits of food, a charger, stuff that you will need while you're in the emergency room. Very sweet.
Notes, man. We got to do that for ourselves, for everyone else in America. Take notes. This is beautiful, but it requires some selflessness. It requires some additional work. You're missing hours with the family and loved ones and kids to help other people. They have a bigger picture approach here, and they look at the community as a whole. How many school buses are here?
The town, over 100.
Over 100.
Don't want them here. It's not private property.
Wait, but isn't it public property?
No, it's not public.
No, this is a privately owned lot with publicly funded buses?
Yes.
Oh, it's privately owned buses too.
Privately owned buses too.
And you guys just purchased the buses yourselves?
Self, yeah.
Like who individually? Is it the rabbi?
Oh,
the rabbi.
Okay, the rabbi buys the buses. Am I stupid? Then who buys the fucking buses then? If it's a stupid question.
The company, the boss.
Well, who's the boss of the town? Of what?
This is a privately owned company.
Sure. I see. Is it mostly private schools out here? Is it a mix of private and public schools? 99% private.
And of course, kosher supermarkets maintained by an army of Mexican laborers all over town.
Just keep in mind, everything's kosher. Excuse me. Do you guys take EBT?
We do.
Like, do most people come in here and use EBT? Yeah. Okay. What percentage of people would you say use EBT for their groceries here? 100%. 100%? Wow. He said 100%. Huh? Oh, what percentage would you say? What would be your estimate?
Well, 50, but not 100.
Because 100's too much, right? What percentage of people here use EBT for their groceries?
35%.
A little bit difficult to conclude what to take away from that. The question is, are a lot of these big families
You know, this is
dependent on the
publicly,
welfare state?
this is the kind of thing, if you're a journalist, you can actually get actual numbers. There are mechanisms for getting the accurate numbers. This is an interesting question. What percentage of Kiryas Joel participants purchase their groceries with EBT? And EBT only goes so far, so it's impossible for it to be 100% because families need more food than they get with EBT. So there is a percentage there that is scientifically findable, and you can find it, but not by shoving a mic in people's faces, but by doing proper research.
To survive. And then the secondary question is, do they work?
Yes, I work here.
I know, but do the people that live here work here?
My work is for the people that live here.
Okay, so that's what I've heard. A lot of business owners. Heard some people do study the Torah for a couple years.
They do that many times.
Their wives are working. That's what I've learned too.
And a synagogue around every street's corner so the men could study the Torah while their wives went out and worked.
People are studying, praying. Beautiful. Wow. Okay, I think I finally made it.
I think he's in a yeshiva.
Synagogue. Synagogue? Okay. Let's just say hi. It's a synagogue. Can I see it? Thank you. Thank you. Hi. Interesting. How do people afford to have such big families out here?
This is a problem,
What?
Struggle, yeah.
People struggle?
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
What do people do for jobs? Because I've noticed a ton of the Mexicans are working the retail stores.
Yeah.
What do the Jewish people do for work?
They own the business.
How do they get to own the businesses?
I have no idea. We could say.
People work by themselves.
Okay.
They work hard, they drive buses, they are teachers, they're employees by companies. And people build up companies by themselves. And people build up their businesses by their own. You work from 9 to 5, a lot of people work more. You work hard. You
Okay,
get money.
I see. It's 2:59. Why aren't people at work?
A lot of people have to work.
But
know
you
how
guys
many
aren't at
people are
work.
living here?
Yeah.
These are all teenagers.
I see. Okay, these are young kids.
Young kids.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, so do you work?
I'm in college.
Okay, where do you go to college?
Here.
Oh, here. Okay, in town.
Yes.
You guys have your own college. Do all of the adults go to work?
Most, I will say.
Most?
90%.
Okay, do people here survive off of welfare?
Not true.
It's not true.
No. Everyone have to work. You have to get money. But
Yeah.
When you have a lot of kids, like you have 8 kids, you can also get benefits like...
I see. Like the official number for like Medicaid, and it was like 93%. That number is not real.
You can look it up. It's not 93%.
It will say 93%.
Yeah, check it up now.
But I've already looked it up. I know what it'll say. Yeah, they'll say 93%.
Where does it say?
On Google. I don't know if that's real though. That's why I'm asking. Yeah.
I don't know, because I know a lot of people and most will have a lot of kids, and even if they work,
they're
qualified.
They qualify. Yeah. Okay, we got some knowledge just now. He says there's some misconceptions about the place. Is this where you make the iconic?
So this is 32 minutes in. Most viewers are not going to get this far in, but it's the best interview and the most accurate. And this teenager, while 21-year-old, it's just a year older than my son, the beard makes them look so much older. Although my son has a beard and he looks so much older. Anyway, digression. This young man gave very, very correct information and very insightful information and accurate information. Unfortunately, most of the viewers will not get this far into the video to get this information. And also there's such a heavy overlay of his framing as a population that doesn't work and is addicted to Medicaid and welfare that the viewer will not find this convincing, but it is actually the correct piece of information.
For hats. Hey, let's see it.
Okay, we're in a hat
Right
store.
On. Okay, thank you. Whoa, it's heavy. On its spins too. For 1,500 USD at the cheapest price. Thank you guys for showing me. 8K? 8,000 bucks? My God.
Strymel. Okay, so what I am seeing here is this guy is actually getting access to several things that I could not. The Strymel shop. I have begged several Strymel sellers to let me do a video, and they're like, no. Now, granted, he did blur the faces, so there's that, and he's more audacious than me, so maybe it's my own fault, but I don't think I could get access as a woman to these spaces that are male, like the Hatzalah and the Chavayrim. I can't tell you how many Hasidic men tell me they would love to, and they are afraid. So for me, I don't see the Hasidic community as a perfect world, but I do see it as a world where people really work hard and are not sitting and trying to have an easy life. They really try to raise their families and to do what they believe is right. But I do see some very different dark sides than he brings up. That's my issue with ignorant outsiders just using tropes instead of looking with nuance. For me, from a nuanced perspective, the dark sides are this extreme social pressure to conform, the watching each other's, like that moment where one man is trying to respond to Tyler, but his body language is telling me I'm afraid to say something because a Hasidic man might be judging me, the judgmentalism. And that judgmentalism has resulted in people being very afraid to be associated with me. Even though some people say I romanticize this community, and yet every single man, or almost every single Hasidic man I talk to, is afraid to be associated with me, which I take to be a good sign. It's a sign that I am not romanticizing. I am not propagandizing. I'm saying it as I see it, and maybe I see it more positively than other people, which is fair, which is totally fair. It's just my view, and I try to be as honest with myself and self-auditing with myself as possible. But there are some really, for me, problematic sides to this community, and I talk about that in my work. The problematic sides are, for instance, the gender, the genderedness, how many issues are built into that for both men and women as a result of these very rigid gender norms, which work for some and not for others, and also the extreme social pressure to conform. It's like canceling culture on steroids. And when I watch this, I get frustrated with that because I can see that Tyler can get past barriers that I can't, because men are afraid to be associated with me as a woman, as an ex-Hasidic woman. And so they allow him into the hat store or into the Chavaydim and so on, Hatzalah. Although, again, this might be my own fault. I'm a very cautious person, and he is just like bulldozing his way in.
I was interviewed.
Why I get triggered when someone gives me unsolicited advice. When I was younger, it came
Viewing people, this dude tried to revoke my cameraman's First Amendment right to film him on a public sidewalk. It is a struggle getting B-roll out here.
Hey, it's illegal.
It isn't.
What?
It isn't.
Hello.
Howdy.
What is the pictures about?
Just feel like filming.
Filming what?
Just everything.
What do you mean everything?
Why are you recording here? Because I feel like it.
Why?
Because I feel like it.
For whom are you recording it?
Because I feel like it.
And where will you post it?
I don't know, wherever my heart desires.
You took pictures of me personally.
I'm happy.
And
You look beautiful.
I want to know where you're going to post it.
Everywhere.
Because I don't want to be...
I'm sorry.
You walked into my shot, so.
No. I was before across the street and you
It's
pointed
okay.
the camera on me.
It's not a big deal. You're in public.
And then we began debating as to whether or not Kiryas Joel took out more money from the system than it gave back.
Why do you think that most people have your welfare?
The more kids you have, the more money you'd get if you're in those programs.
It's not because people are defrauding. When you have larger families, you're automatically, you can qualify in a bigger percentage.
100%.
Take out statistic and say, oh, this person has 6 kids. Look how much grants they receive from the government. But if you look at their expenses, then you see it's a different ball game. It just gives you, helps you to survive. It pushes through. How much money Kiryas Joel community saves for the state and the federal government by the fact that we have private schools. We have big business people that pay taxes and they contribute a lot. We have a lot of charity that's helping out people, and also the fact that we study Torah, which in big part includes you should be honest and stay away from crime. So thank God that the crime rate is very low. So that also saves a lot of money from police enforcement and from jails.
But I noticed you guys have that private security, which is taxpayer funded, right?
But that's paid from our taxes. It's the village.
Assuming you pay taxes, though, right?
Do you think someone here doesn't pay property tax?
Yeah, for sure. Renters.
I'm a renter.
You're a renter.
Yes. And my landlord 1 year increased me the rent because the tax went up. How can he afford it? Because I pay him rent.
Well, yeah, you're arguing the cost is indirectly turned over to you as the renter.
It's directly.
Let's say I had 10 kids and I made between 60 to 90K a year as a household. Then I could get almost $13,000 in cash benefits and pay no state income tax and no federal tax. So I would get $13,000 in cash, which I could then pay to, let's say, a landlord. Let's call it $2,000. That's half the year paid.
Don't get the tax credit per child. You get
You do, though.
tax credit, but once you have 3 or 4 children, you don't get more if you have more children.
That's not true. The tax credit is multiplied by how many children you have, and there's no limit to the children you can have.
It's a formula. And you take in account that someone has 13 kids, and they pay tuition, they pay grocery, they feed their children, and they have...
I'm arguing a lot of the taxpayers are paying for their children in the form of SNAP, EBT, and healthcare in the form of Medicaid.
I got it, and I want to answer you.
Yeah.
Now, you make this budget, figure out how much this costs, and now you say that you call a cash benefit, a tax return of benefit of $13,000. This doesn't cover 10 children. It's just a help.
But when you supplement that with the healthcare is covered via Medicaid, you have SNAP and EBT that helps cover groceries, if not the full amount for the groceries.
Have SNAP, the SNAP maybe would give $1,000 a month for a family, but you go in the grocery, check the prices, you can't afford, you can't feed 10 people plus a father and mother, 12 people from $1,000 a month. So it's just a push, like it's a help. It's not covering.
That's true.
So, and also, me personally, I told you I'm working in the healthcare industry.
Yeah.
I don't have Medicaid. I have insurance by my employer.
Agreed,
If
yeah.
you take all business people, successful business people, just from Kiryas Joel, their taxes covers everything that we take back. There's someone, Kiva Klein, he's a big developer. I'm sure he pays a lot of taxes. You see over there, Appstone. They're compensating with their tax payments, and then they're compensating with they have charity that they help out a lot of people here. The Jewish people that you claim, they're employing like over 1,000 people. They have a big building in Manhattan. They pay a lot of property tax. They have warehouses in New Jersey, and they're a very fair company. They're honest. And even though they are the job providers.
So you'd say overall, the Hasidic Jewish community is a financial positive.
Contributing to the United States.
He was basically arguing that the minority of extremely wealthy Jewish businessmen that employ a ton of people elsewhere easily compensates for the amount of money residents here took out of the system.
Why doesn't he figure out the numbers instead of disputing and invalidating what this man said, which was actually a very interesting counterpoint. I don't know what the numbers are, but look at this disgusting AI image. Wow. really, he is not even listening to people. And this man was actually very convincing. I want to say this from personal experience. For 15 years, I worked at a Hasidic insurance brokerage firm. We did group insurance, which is how you get insurance in the United States. At least it was at the time. If you are not on Medicaid, you need to have your insurance through a company. It wasn't private, and then there was Obamacare, but even that was very expensive. So mostly it was through companies. So we had a big office of like 10 employees, and I was one of the secretaries for a Hasidic man, and I did the renewals, and I would prepare presentations for renewals of companies. Sometimes the company was just 2 people. Usually it would be large companies of 50 people, and I would present from Emblem. At one point there was GI. Oxford also went out and became United Healthcare. There was Empire, Blue Cross Blue Shield. These private insurance companies would give me a quote based on the company's demographics, and often they were very high as a result of high childbirths. And we would present the quotes and the different packages from each in a binder presentation. That was my work, and my boss would go to the Hasidic company and present it, and they would elect which plan they want to cover their employees, and their employees were Hasidic. We had a giant body of business that was Hasidic, that were people that were clearly not on Medicaid. That is not to say the Medicaid rate isn't high. 93%, I don't know. How would I know? I would not throw out percentages without doing research. Throwing out percentages is, to me, absurd. It is findable. It is a fact. It is something you look up. It is not something you use from 2014 by Googling for 5 seconds. And so it is important to not make up percentages, but to look for them. Outside of that, all I can tell you is just our brokerage firm, and we were competing with other brokerage firms very, very heavily, had a giant pool of Hasidic businesses that were covering their Hasidic families through private insurance, and that was not Medicaid. Our business would not exist. I would not be employed for 15 years of my life, from 17 until I moved to Brooklyn in 2018, 2017, if the Hasidic community was all totally on Medicaid.
In various forms of welfare.
How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing well. It's a little cold.
Yeah, I know. What's going on?
Nothing much?
No?
How can I help you?
I was just calling to talk to you. So people are a little nervous to be recording with the masks and stuff, so...
It's cold. The mask stays on, you know?
I get it. You know what I mean? I just got called here, so I got to come by and...
For sure.
Do my due diligence, you know what
100%,
I mean?
sir.
Okay. So what are you recording for?
Just personal stuff.
I get you. It's public, so I know you can.
If you've never been to a community like this, right?
Sure.
You're unknown.
Sure.
It's unusual activity. Suspicious for you to have a camera at people's faces wherever they go.
You guys are going to be upset that they're here, right? And you guys are going to call us over here. Just don't engage with them. You know what I mean? If that's what you guys...
Yeah, no one's forcing it.
Some people are going to get upset that they're here.
Well, welcome to the United States of America.
I don't want to get recorded.
This is the United States of America. Then just walk away. Just walk away. Jesus Christ. This is some bullshit, you know it. You don't get extra privileges. No. This is bullshit, you know it.
Yeah, if they're going to be upset and calling about you guys, and you guys don't want us harassing you.
Well, why would you harass us if we're exercising our First Amendment, right?
Because you follow people.
Exactly. It's a rhetorical question. There's no means to harass us if we're doing nothing wrong.
No.
Okay.
There was a terrorist attack in Australia Sunday. You come in front of synagogues with a covered face. People are
I
allowed
didn't.
to get
I get the face.
No, I'm
sure.
answering his question, but he didn't ask you the question, right? He was talking to me right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I agree.
What I told you too
Sure.
was if you guys are gonna call about each other and have these kinds of interactions, right? No, we had to find conversations. Just leave each other alone.
All right, this is excessive. Obviously, we can talk to anyone who wants to talk. This is the equivalent of a doctor come in here, get yourself checked out.
It was Ezra's Medical Center, my name. I saw it was renamed.
It's a medical facility,
Iser,
so
they
there's lots
renamed
of, like,
it.
doctor's office. Okay.
Is this mostly for the Jewish community? Do I have to be Jewish to get health care? Okay. Are most people here on like Medicaid?
A lot of patients are.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Okay. She said a lot of patients are on Medicaid, which is in conflict with what they're telling me in the synagogue.
And they're having so many kids, Kiryas Joel's population doubled from 2010 to 2024. How many kids on average does each family have out here?
Between 2 and
This is where I went to
really
school.
unpredictable.
Like 2 to 10?
Yeah,
How many do you have?
3.
3. Okay, that's pretty small for out here, right?
I'm still in the younger age.
How old are you?
27.
Okay, young man. What do people do for work out here?
There's all kind of work. There's a lot of educated people, there's everything. Anyways, I gotta go work. Thank you so much.
Okay, what do you do for work, by the way?
I'm doing a few things. I'm driving buses. I'm working in a mechanic shop. I'm working a lot in the office.
That's a lot of jobs.
Yes.
So if you want to talk about people living in a theocratic, ethnic enclave, then look no further. Kiryas Joel is an example of that, and then some. When people are talking about Dearborn, Michigan this, Dearborn, Michigan that, this is an example of only Jews living here, and a lot of them are tapping into welfare benefits.
Watch what bread does
Are we
to your
done?
diet goals.
They're lying to you about whole wheat bread. It's not healthy. It's packed with gluten and phytic acid.
Okay. Oh man, thank goodness. Oh, this was an ordeal. So yeah, he did not go into the Dearborn, Michigan story. I have no idea what it is. And he did drop a lot of implications though, and incendiary language. I didn't like it. I really, really didn't like this video. I think it's not journalism. I think it's irresponsible. And it is very, very, very damaging. It creates hate, and it is inaccurate. It's just inaccurate. It's just bad stuff. It's interesting that he is so pro it's America here. We get to harass people in the streets by shoving microphones in their faces and demanding answers about their private economic lives. But it's not America here when it comes to freedom of religion and the right to exercise your religious values. Suddenly that doesn't apply. It's all here an injustice that the Jews get to do this while the rest of the world doesn't get to have these privileges. I find this entire video very upsetting. I'm glad I watched it, and for those of you who watched it with me and stuck to the very end, really, really appreciate you keeping me company. Please do leave detailed comments. I might revisit that and read some comments in a future video. I'll see how that goes. All right, it's Friday here in New York. I am about to get started on my day and prepare for Friday is my favorite day. Is prepare for Shabbos, although I do very light Shabbos. I wish you all a wonderful Shabbos, a wonderful weekend, and be well. Bye now.